Hey guys, it's Rick from here for Pajama Crafter Stamps today, and we are going to make an Eclipse birthday card using the Cupcake Builder Stamp Set. Here's the Cupcake Builder Stamp Set. It's from Prickly Pear. I'm also going to use some deckled dies and a card base that is just thick cardstock. I've already stamped out my cupcakes. There's the card that we're going to be inspired by. I've stamped out my cupcakes in a alcohol marker friendly ink, the base and the top, and we're going to start off by coloring our cupcake wrappers. We're going to color those in a silver color, and I'm using my Ohuhu markers today. So we are going to color, I'm going to map out my shadows to begin with, and I'm using my mid-tone color for that, which is CG5, Cool Gray 5. And I'm mapping out where my shadows on my wrappers are going to go. This way it allows me to know where my dips and valleys on my wrappers are. Now I'm going to come in with my darkest color, which is CG070, and I'm going to put in my shadow colors, and then I'm going to blend that out with my CG5, and I'm blending that out with CG050, and then my lightest color is CG2. So I'm going to do all my wrappers that same way. We're going to map out where our valleys are. So because there would be a shadow in the valley area. So we're just going to map that out first. I found that to be easier with the cupcake wrappers. And then we're going to come back in with our darkest color and go right over that. And it just makes it super easy to know where your dips and folds are. So we're going to blend those out with our CG5 and CG050, and now I'm blending out with my CG050, and then we're going to add in our CG2 to blend that out completely as my lightest color right there. That just gives it the littlest bit of a highlight, and it makes that cupcake wrapper stand out in those divots. Now the top one's a little bit different. There's only the divots in the top part, and we have to kind of exaggerate the ones at the bottom. It's more of a fancier cupcake bottom. So I just added the shadow around the bottom, and I'm blending that out with CG5. And I'm going to come under the little flowers and the little ribbon that's wrapped around the edge. And then I'll blend it out the same way at the top little divots. So we're going to come in now with CG050 and blend all that out. That's going to be our mid-tone color. That's going to where most of that color is going to go. And then I'm going to blend that out with my CG02, which is just right there. And that's going to provide my highlights. Now remember, when you're blending, you're going to blend over the area you just did. Now for our next color, we're going to do a blueberry cupcake this time, and a blueberry ganache. So I'm going to color that with PB5. I decided the ganache was going to be blueberry. So I'm coloring in my shadow with this PB5. I'm going to put that where anything overlaps. And there's going to be a shadow. I'm blending that out with PB04. And then I'm going to blend that out. That's my semi-mid-tone. My next mid-tone is PB02. Or sorry, PB03. PB3. I could talk. All right, the blueberries I just colored in the lightest two colors, which was PB3 and PB2. And then I'm going to come back to my ganache at the top. I'm going to color that with PB5. I'm putting that in right now. Then we're going to blend our PB5 out with PB4. And I will blend PB4 out with PB3 to get a nice smooth transition. And then my lightest color is PB02. PB2. All right, so that colors our ganache. For our violet color, I'm going to use Violet 320, V270, V250, and V23. I'm starting out with my darkest, where my icings overlapped, and I'm putting in the V320. And then we're going to, anywhere there would be a shadow, we're going to have that darker. So I'm going to come in now with my V270 and blend that out. So we're going to blend our shadows out. This is our next darkest color. It would also Underneath that ganache is going to be a shadow, so we got to put that in. And then we're going to have that little edge that's going to have a little shadow. Now I'm blending that out with V250. So we're just going to blend that out, and you can see I'm leaving a space for my highlights. That's my mid-tone color. And then my highlight color is V230. So we're just going to blend that out. Just nice and pretty, just like that. And then we're going to scoot our paper up just a little bit. And we're going to come in with the V250 and color that as our darkest color this time for the icing on this cupcake. It's more of a lavender color. So that's going to be my shadows. So we're going to place those in right there underneath any of those little flowers that has going to have shadows. We're going to blend that out with V230. So you can do a two-color blend in a really nice, pretty transition color. You don't have to have a four-color blend. You can totally do a two-color blend and be just as good. And I think it turned out great. I am going to come back in. I believe it's this one I come back in and add a little bit more detail to the shadows. No, it's not. It's the other one. All right. I'm going to come in with V320 and V270. I'm coming in with the V320 for the ribbon. I blend that out with V270, and then the lightest color for that is V250. Now we're moving on to our red-violet combination, and we're going to use RV240, RV200, RV180, and RV160. So I'm going to do my flowers with my two lightest colors. I'm using RV180 because they're so small. And I'm going to blend that out with RV160. And some of them I only use the 160. So, or no, we did RV200, RV180, I'm sorry, and then RV160 as the lightest color. I did use a three-color blend. I'm so sorry about that. All right, for our icing, or no, we're going to do our cherries first. I'm using the RV240 as my darkest color. We're blending that out with RV200. And then we're going to blend that out with RV180. Make sure you would have a shadow under where the little stem meets. There's that divot there. That's going to be a shadow. And then I blended that out with RV160. For the icing, I wanted more of a strawberry color. So I went with the RV180 as my shadow color. So anywhere that icing's overlapping or the little drawn lines look like they're a swoop, I added that in there. And then I'm blending that out with RV160. And then this is where I'm going to come back after I blended it all out. I wanted a little bit more pop of a shadow, so I did come back in with the RV180 again and went back over my shadow colors just to emphasize that shadows a little bit more. So don't be afraid to come back in and work your colors because you can totally get a different look and get a more saturated look. All right, so to finish off our cupcakes, we are going to use, let's see, it's G8 and G440 as the darkest color. So I'm coming in with the G8 as my darkest and then blending that out with the G440. All right, so that colors those little leaves. And now, I forgot that flower. Now I'm going to cut them all out. And I don't have the matching dies, so I fussy cut them. Now, for our background panel, we are going to come in with Speckled Egg and the Cloudy stencil from Lawn Fawn, and we're going to add our little clouds in our background. And I think I do 4 rows of clouds. We're just going to ink blend right off the top of that, and I'm going to turn the stencil and ink blend the second row. And then we're going to turn it again and ink blend our 3rd row of clouds. And I'm just leaving a nice little space where I have just a nice little bit of color in there. Super easy, nothing hard. Next one. So I went all the way around the stencil and did that 4 rows. Now I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of blue along that bottom one so it's not just stark white and hanging out. I'm going to come in with my grassy stencil and some cracked pistachio oxide ink. And we're going to do our grass layer. So I'm just going to blend that out. I think I do 2 layers of the grasses. One I did a little bit heavy. The bottom one I did a little bit heavier handed. So it does give a little transitional color. And then I'm going to take my deckled rectangle dies. I'm going to cut out the center of this. This is how we're going to get our eclipse edge. We're going to create that frame. So I'm just cutting out that. I'm going to hold it down with a little mint tape. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine and pull that off. And we are going to take and lay out our card on our panel. So we're going to take our frame and we're going to glue that straight down with a little barely art glue. And just glue that straight to the frame. There's no matte layer. It's just that frame on the outside. Excuse me. Now I'm going to come in, pull my cupcakes in, and put those together. So we're going to attach with just a little barely art glue to each of the cupcake base. There is our blueberry cupcake. And then here is our lavender cupcake. And then we're going to take and put in our little cherry strawberry cupcake. I don't know about y'all, but I love some cupcakes. I'm a fat boy. I like some cupcakes. And now we're going to kind of place them on the card where we kind of want them to go. And I've decided that I want the two purple ones on the outside and the pink one on the inside. So we're going to lay those back out. Again, it's not going to matter the order because we're just using this as placement for our birthday sentiment from the Build a Cupcake Stamp Set. So we're going to put that in our MISTI. And we're going to prep our stamp with our finger and get it nice and smooth. And now I'm going to ink that up in some VersaFont Onyx black ink because it's a good pigment ink to get a nice solid impression. I'm going to peel that out and then we are going to attach that. I'm going to dry it with my heat tool and we are going to be able to attach this to our center of our card. But before we do that, we need to help it stand up. So we're going to add some 3mm foam tape to the inside opening of the card base. And you can get this at scrapbook.com or you can use the 3M foam tape, whatever you have. But we're just going to fill that inside piece up. It took me 5-6 pieces. Now I'm going to peel those backings off of the foam tape. And then we are going to add a little liquid glue because you know I like a little movement. I don't want to be able to just one shot and done. I like a little bit able to move it a little bit. So we're going to add our liquid glue on our foam tape. And if you've not seen this trick, I don't know where y'all been because it's like the best trick ever. So now we're going to pop our panel on there and this is what creates our eclipse look. Now all we have to do now is attach our cupcakes. And I'm just going to attach those down with liquid glue because we already have dimension behind our foam, our eclipse panel. We're going to stagger the other one and stack it behind the strawberry cupcake. And we're going to do the same thing with our lavender cupcake here. Just going to tuck that right in there, slide it in. Now at this point you could add glitter or anything else. We're going to add some gel pen highlights. So I've got my Secure Koi gel pen, the number 10. I'm coming in and adding highlights to the icing because it's going to be glossy. I'm going to dot in just some on the blueberry and the cherries. I really focus more on the icing to make it nice and glossy. For the wrappers, I added highlights on the ones that are standing up, but I'm making sure to let the pen skip. I don't want a perfectly straight line. I want it to skip a little bit. So I'm just letting it do its thing. If it skips, it skips. If it don't, it's gone. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's okay. Rick's getting a little excited, so he's getting a little tongue-tied. All right, so we're going to finish off that, and we're going to add some little Stardust stickles to our cherries and to our blueberries to make them nice and glittery and fun. And then I added some to the center of the flowers to finish those off. And that, my friends, is our card. And if you like this card, here's the other card and a sneak peek of some other things coming. But there is the original card I did. Here's the new one. Here's a look at both cards. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.